Good morning, traders. Welcome to the Traders Lab. I'm your host, Tom B. Thanks for visiting us today. Can I please get a screen and audio check in the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community and also in YouTube? Thanks, Barty. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Traders Lab. Appreciate you stopping by the lab today. This stream's about integrating Bookmap order flow tools with auction market theory using the volume profile as a chassis in the intraday developing time frame. In addition, it is based on the structured trades I've shared in the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community, as well as an additional library of webinars and a community of like-minded traders that have come together to leverage their collective experience so we can all grow together. The key here for all traders is to understand that trading is a journey. It is something that we have to constantly look to get a better understanding of, to deal with our emotional states, which might be the primary obstacle to being able to actually function in this business. Trading is not what most of us think it is, and the Trader Lab is focused on helping traders deal with many different areas that compound the obstacles to retail trader longevity. And if that's something that you want to explore, there's a link in the bottom of YouTube. There is no cost to become part of the Bookmap Trader Lab community, as well as take advantage of a lot of additional education, all at no cost. So let's take care of business, and I have a lot of announcements for you. There are some special opportunities right now. Some there are going to expire at the end of the day. The Black Friday special, which is an amazing opportunity for those of you who want to test out Bookmap and see how it might give you an additional edge, and much more. General disclosure, all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice or recommendations. Risk disclosure. Trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please remember, this is not a trade calling room. This is for educational purposes only. However, if we get there, we'll talk. Now, let's take a look at what the Bookmap specials are currently. This one expires today. It is the Black Friday special, ends tonight, and it's 3 months of Global Plus, all the bells and whistles. And I don't have all this information specifically in front of me. You can go to bookmap.com and see these opportunities for yourself. It's 3 months of Global Plus. I believe it's 50% off, includes data and more. That's the Black Friday special. There's the Cyber Monday special, 60% off 1 month, and that goes from December 2nd to December 12th. And again, go to bookmap.com for the specifics on this. Now, this is the next thing. And this is for Bookmap subscribers. So if you want to become a Bookmap subscriber, you can participate in this also. It's a competition. It goes through December 10th to 12th. And you can also find this information. And it's to paid Bookmap subscribers. It includes Global Plus with data. So you'd be able to get your hands on Bookmap, which you would already have as a subscriber, but you to get the Global Plus, no matter which bundle you have, and that's stops, icebergs, Trader Map Pro, Market Pulse Algo Suite, Liquidity Tracker, and I believe you can also get you can win $1,000. I think that's pretty good too. But again, don't hold me to it because I can't see all of this information. I am on a laptop in Costa Rica, and I'm lucky I can see my screen. So I hope you get something out of this. And by the way, speaking of being in Costa Rica, the monkeys do tend to swing if you will, on the electric cables, which is not so good for them, and also the internet. So if I drop out, be patient. I will be back in. It might take several minutes. But you don't want to miss what I'm going to be covering today. Remember, this stream is based on structured trades that are available to everyone in the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community, as well as a library of webinars and, of course, the community. And let's talk about structured trades. What are structured trades? They're trades that you have vetted that have a probability of one thing happening over the other. That means statistical probabilities. And why might we care about that? We would care about that because we need an edge. And edge is really about stalking or waiting for your opportunity, not playing a video game. And I understand the dopamine that we get from playing video games, and you should too. Because when we click the mouse, there's sort of sense of excitement, right? Well, it's an adrenaline thing, and it's many other elements, but none of those have anything really to do with this business. They have to do with the psychological need, and in this business, that's actually an impediment to longevity. Kind of important you start differentiating if you find yourself kind of making it up. The business of trading really is different, and we focus on that in the Trader Lab. How can we differentiate our outcomes from the outcomes of other traders? One moment, please. I'm trying to fix something here. Let me see if I can do it. Here we go. One moment. Got to fix a little issue. Okay. Hopefully things will percolate now. Okay. So let's take a look here what's going on. And if you have questions, by the way, please post them. One moment. I'm seeing a post that says there's no screen. Is that the case in the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community, or is that just one individual? Okay. Miles, restart. Thank you. Okay, guys. A little housekeeping there. Here we go. Now, let me explain what you got here. This is called the naked volume point of control. Now, this is based on auction market theory. Now, what is this theory thing? It's really just how the market works. The market is a price discovery mechanism. And the thing about price discovery is shopping. So let's take the mystique away and strip it all away and get down to what it really is. It's shopping. What's too high, what's too low? And too high means we get to a price point where the buying dries up. And at some point, the sellers get enticed at that point to sell it to those diminishing buyers. When we run out of buyers, the sellers then are going to be lowering the price. And new sellers may come in and join them, and that creates this downside rotation. Well, if yesterday the highest price, volume-wise, was right here, let's think of it like you shopping in the store, retail. In other words, yeah, everybody does business here. Sellers and buyers, they agree on a price. So what's below it was too low, and what's above it at yesterday's high was too high. Okay? Now, we're in an uptrend. So yesterday's high, a new all-time high. Now, a couple possibilities, right? Well, we can come up, since we're in a higher time frame bull market, and take out yesterday's high and continue along our merry way. And if that is the case, how do we position in a market if we know the fair price is here, but we don't know what will happen? Here's a couple of things to think about. We have yesterday's high volume price. Yeah, we're willing to pay this. We have the ETH high volume price, which is the last auction. That's the high volume price. So we have the following: the possibilities to come here, to go to the ETH mid, to test the settlement, and to test here. And you're going, well, that's nice, all these possibilities. Yeah. But then we have the ETH high, which has a high probability statistic, yesterday's high, and then after that, you put your helmet on because nobody predicts anything. So if you're in the Trader Lab, you would have a trade plan. And then, based on what happens and knowing where your statistical probabilities might underline show up, you, as they say, act accordingly. And the idea in the Trader Lab, it's no different than gaming. You only take trades that have a statistical edge that you have vetted. It's not about action. It's about edge. You don't need to take a lot of trades. You only need, in my opinion, to take the trades that have a statistical edge, and the rest leave to somebody else who either has other vetted trades or is just a gambler. So let's look. RTH open, and remember, post your questions, and please give a like. Please give a thumb up, give a like, subscribe to the channel. Remember, if I drop out, I am in Costa Rica on a tin can in a string, and the stream will restart. Just be patient. It's almost like a little interruption for technical difficulties. So, RTH open. Now, I'm going to go into something so you guys can see now what's happening. Let me just get reoriented here. Okay. RTH open. Let's get there. 8:30 RTH open, my time, Central Time Zone, Costa Rica. It's going to be 87 degrees here today. Kind of unique if you think about it, especially since I live in Chicago. So I think there's a contrast, you might say. This is the RTH open. There it is. This is our retail price from yesterday. So let's look here. Let's see if we can detect the first trade. Now, as you probably have heard me say so many times, the open is not a place for developing traders to trade. It is a place for developing traders to develop unconscious competence. Unconscious competence is where you anticipate behavior, but you can't predict it. And the other part of it is you can recognize it. It's kind of like speed reading. And this is a language. I don't use indicators. It doesn't mean you can't. I don't. Why? They lag, and by the time I tend to see what an indicator's telling me, the market is off, especially in the open. And the open's a high-risk place to trade because you have minimal input of information. What we do have is the previous auction, the ETH, which is the last time the buyers and sellers are interacting, and we have yesterday's RTH. If I open above the retail price, remember, from yesterday, and I open above the high volume in the ETH, and I didn't take out yesterday's low, follow our open, I should say, and the high volume is above yesterday's low, and let's look and see where it's the ETH low. ETH low tested yesterday's low. The current ETH fair price is here. I open above it, and yesterday's retail price is here. The possibilities are check this, go up, get below here, come here, and of course, whatever. That's randomness. So now the first thing we're looking for is who takes control. Let's look. And let's see if we can see the first trades in the Trader Lab today. And again, these aren't trade recommendations, but you can learn this. This is structured trading. You can learn this. And you may think, why doesn't he use indicators? Because I don't want the conflict, the ambiguity, and there's enough ambiguity and conflict and randomness in this environment. Why add more? Maybe strip away the things that are impediments to fast reaction times. And the reaction time is a function of understanding language. So we're going to talk language, not indicator. And we're going to use order flow to try to see inside the participant behavior. Are you guys with me? I want to make sure you're all tracking. Please give that like. Lets me know you like me and the stream. And remember, if you're not in the Trader Lab, it is available to everyone at no cost. You can use that link in the bottom of YouTube. And don't forget, we're having the Black Friday special is expiring today. And then we have Cyber Monday, and we have that special contest for Bookmap subscribers. So it's not too late to subscribe. And the contest gives you access to advanced Global Plus features, also stop on icebergs, and for the duration of the contest, $1,000 prize, and much more. All that's available at bookmap.com. Check it out after the stream. So this is our RTH open. I get my buyer. I get my counter rotation. So I get sellers and buyers. Now I'm sitting here, and what do I know? Remember what I know. This is the retail price. So right here is my support from yesterday. I test it. Now let's get real. I don't know where it's going to go, where it's going to stop. I know nothing. I am, as I always like to say, and I always have to remind everybody, I'm clueless. I'm not ignorant. I'm clueless, and the clueless nature is to be open-minded and not opinionated. So I accept that I don't know. Many retail traders are in the business of thinking this is a predictive business. Well, we can't predict, but we can try to get an alignment as quickly as we can, and that's what structured trades are about. So let's look. My buyers are taking control. I tested here. Now, how do I get into a long? Let's try to see. Watch. VWAP mid. Right here is microstructure. You can see it there. Now I'm doing something that is somewhat advanced, and this is what you can learn in Trader Lab. Let's watch. This is high volume. It says HVN, so you know it's high volume. Microstructure is here. Come down, counter rotation. So I have buyers in this leg, sellers in this leg. Who's going to win? It's a fight. But what do I know? Too low at the moment. And I can certainly come right down and take the sell stops under here. You have to always think from both sides. VPOC migration. Now, this is an event. And I did a special webinar on this. It's in the library in the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community. And you can all get, you can all access this. There's no cost for the structured trades you're going to see here and the library and the community. So VWAP mid VPOC migration. This is a structured triggering process. Now I'm going to take you down. Now when I talk time frame, you guys know if you're following the stream, I don't use any time frame because the market's not a function of time. It's a function of participant interaction. So what is this? Longs, sellers are here, right here, microstructure. I break low, watch the micro, right there. Now I'm going really down. I'm going to kind of stay away from this. This is actually a selling trigger. It's not a short, it's a trigger. Let's look at the opposite. Too low, this is the language. Oh, this was the retail price. If you want to buy an S&P at the moment, guess what? They just raised the price. Well, where was the last place where it was too low in the microstructure? Right here. Let's look at this. Sellers are here because you see the buy delta. They were absorbed. We come down here. The buyers are here. They were absorbed. Where's the micro high volume structure? Now follow closely. Now this is language. And again, not saying anybody ought to do this. I'm just saying is you might find this very different from what most retail traders are doing. What happened here? Sellers are here. Buyers are here. Buyers got absorbed here. Watch carefully. So the sellers are up here, and you get the delta here, the sellers. Opposite behavior. What's down here? The buyers. What was over here? The buyers. What's over here? The buyers. Micro consolidation structure. High volume is there where the white line is. Break high. Micro trigger. Trader Lab process. Where's support? Right here. Long, watch, and high probability target is there. That's our first target subject to your plan. And this is Trader Lab structured trading. You would know this if you're in Trader Lab. This would be your trade, assuming it was part of your plan and you vetted it. That's door number one. Is everybody tracking? And welcome to the Trader Lab, of course. Give me a thumb up, a like. How we doing in YouTube? This is Trader Lab. This is the first long either here or subject to skill set. Now this goes into something a bit deeper. Now this is before the RTH open. I'm going to take you someplace else where few go. Let's see it. This is the sweep and I did a webinar on this, stop sweeps and absorption detector. I'm going to show you more of this, but I'm going to take you before the opening trade. What is this? Stop sweep 828 and absorption combined. And there's a couple ways I look at this. The sweep is the stops coming out and they're sweeping the order book. The absorption is the icebergs. Now here's kind of, this is something available in TraderLab. And again, I'm getting into advanced order flow processes, but this is where Bookmap really gives you an edge, in my opinion, but you got to vet all of this. Right here, what are the possibilities? Well, we're going to keep going, of course, right? But what do I know? Because I've vetted this and I understand order flow mechanics, which is what you can learn in the Bookmap Discord community with all the education, but also TraderLab. So I know that this might become a reversal process. So let's look at it. This sets up the potential of reversal for a long. Here's a sweep in the other direction. This sets up a counter rotation or a failure right there. We don't take this out. That is, so what you get is long possibility after this. Then you get this short possibility, not a short trade. Why? Where am I? What did I test? This happened already. I come back now at R, and here's the test again of this structure where the absorption is. Why is this relevant? Why did the market go up here? Why? Here's something to think about. If this is too low, and you're a shopper, remember, we're shoppers. And when you go to a store, you're a shopper too. Well, we're in a store. And the buyers were motivated here. There they are, the absorption. Limit orders, icebergs. Is it possible if it comes back down in price after we see this, which indicates potential counter rotation, that we're going to look back here and see if these buyers show up here in alignment with this? Is it possible? That's the question for you to ponder. If you understand order flow, yes, it's very possible. Is it going to happen? No way to know. If you know you can anticipate something, does that give you an edge under those who have no idea what might happen? So when you have a trade plan and you're in TraderLab, you know based on your plan that you have to create and will be supported by TraderLab participants what might happen. And then, as they say, act accordingly. So now we have our RTH open, and that gives you the first trades. So I know before the RTH open, because TraderLab processes and structured trades gave me insight in alignment with order flow, which is what Bookmap is all about. I'm seeing inside participant behavior. I'm not seeing a candle. I'm not seeing something with a wick on it. What would this tell you if you're in a candle? Am I waiting 2 minutes, 1 minute, 5 minutes? What am I doing? I'm not doing any of it because that's what most retail traders do. And as you guys know, most retail traders do not enjoy longevity in this business. So anyway, that sets up my longs. So I already know about this. I get my RTH open. I could be actually buying against this or this right here, another long. And then again, you're going overnight high. Kind of lengthy, but guess what? This is trading. This is TraderLab, and there's more. You'll go, really? Yeah, there is. Watch now. Now we're going into a transition, and post your questions. This is called, remember, a variable high volume node. Support. Watch. Now the market's going up. We got our first target. Let's consider this a scale. There are statistics. I'm just going to suggest over 90% probability. Past performance, not indicative of future results. You can vet this in the TraderLab. You know, statistics, support, community, structured trades, library of webinars, and a lot more. It is about the business of trading. It's not Fantasy Island. You know, there's no quick fix. Doesn't exist. We're in a random environment. Just remember how casinos operate. They don't control the cards coming out of the deck or how the gamblers play the cards. So they're in an uncertain random environment like we are. Same. So what do? They don't make it up. They only play games that have a statistical edge, and they also pay to gamblers. How do you feel when you take a stop? Feel. Use the term feel. How do you feel? Not good. How do casinos feel? Deal the next hand. Different, isn't it? Why? They're in a business. What are you in? Hopefully, you determine that this is a business. So, variable high volume node. I made these up because they didn't exist when I started. I learned market profile in 1985, so I've been at it a while. And of course, when I first saw it, I was, as I like to say, clueless. And I tried to fit it into what I was currently doing, which was indicator and system-based. That didn't turn out so good because it was conflicted and it was just trying to get all this stuff to fit together. So gradually I ripped out the things that caused the conflict and I moved towards simplicity so my mind could grasp what I was seeing in real time and not conflicted and, with multiple time frames, multiple indicators. Now that's just me. It doesn't mean that that doesn't work for you. It just didn't work for me. And we all go down the similar path. So microstructure is here. VWAP is here. Micro high volume is over there. In fact, I'm going to turn this off just for a moment. We'll come back to that in a little bit. This is too low. This is too high. Resistance, VWAP. These green lines are going to disappear. We don't need them right now. So what do I see here? This is absorption. Right here was a seller, and the buyer ran through the sellers right here. That was the iceberg, so you know what I'm looking at here. So I have microstructure here, too high. Remember, high volume. This is like the shoppers. I'm not paying that. And we rotate away. The sellers are here, and the buyers, think Pac-Man, go through the seller. Now my retail price is here. My resistance is here. Chop, chop, micro high volume right there. Now I break below. This is my new resistance. Too high. I'm not paying that. Well, now what? Well, I know this is too low. I know I got my VWAP, and we have two trades or potential trades in the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community. Here's what they are. One, when the market crosses over, it's a change. Let's come back right here. Directional, right? Happy days are here again. Then what happens here? Too high, rotation. We have changed in the microstructure from directional to rotational, but inside a higher time frame. And this is going to get a little conflicted for you if you're not familiar with thinking in fractals. So we always talk about time frames, right? Well, all-time highs, right? And we have yesterday's high above us. Is it reasonable in a bull market with yesterday's high above us that we might test it? Statistically, yes. So if I get this probability, might I want to be getting long if I'm not long for yesterday's high? Or might I use counter rotations for adds or initiating new positions, whatever? So what is the change? So trend up, higher time frame. What is this? Change in context from a directional move to a rotational mean reversion. In Trader Lab, you would understand what this is. You would understand how to deal with it. And you'd also understand there's no guarantees anytime you put a trade on. I know. You're going, oh, thank you. And I'm going, yeah, it's all right. This is called a low volume node. I'm going to label it. Now, let me explain what you're looking at. And this is all what auction market theory is. The auction is price discovery at all times between participants. And as you guys know, and a lot of you say, I got chopped up. Well, of course, we all can get chopped. But if you're trading this behavior the same as this, you will have a problem, in my opinion. So in Trader Lab, you would recognize the transition when we break below here and we don't clear this, that now we are rotating down to try to find what's too low. And it can be anywhere. It could be there, but this is the tip-off of rotation because we failed right here. So now we're looking for what's too high, what's too low. This is too high. So right here, I see absorption, but I don't have a location. Now, so VWAP to VPOC is the next trade and yesterday's high probability statistic, and it can do anything. Now, this is called the distribution, and all it is a consolidation. So let's not get too hung up on the language. And what is a consolidation? It is a distribution of volume, okay? So what do you have in a consolidation? Well, right here is micro high volume. I'm going to put a little line on it for you, just so you know where it is. What happened here? Buyers were here. They absorbed this guy. Sellers were there. And then we broke out. So this is an auction in fractal. The outside edge of this whole thing is out here. And there's typically stops here, will be here, because retail traders tend to trail their stops and under here. And this is my kind of my outside edge. And there's a low volume node. Let's watch. We have VWAP to VPOC. So let's look. What happened here? Too low, buyers are here. What happens here? Low volume node, right here, outside edge. Break high, resistance, pull back. We have two trades in TraderLab. VWAP to VPOC, which was there. So this is a long, and then you're going for the high or not. And then you have trade management. VPOC shifts down. Watch the behavior. It's really interesting, I think. And this is what kind of got me going with the auction, because I was seeing the transitions in behavior, not based on indicators, based on participant behavior in real time. And then you add order flow to that, and you've got something you can really potentially get your arms around. Why did this happen here? The buyers, think Pac-Man, overwhelmed the seller. This was too high. It's resistance. If I rotate down and this seller got run over and my buyers are here, right here, that's why it went up, then where is my support? It is right here, and there's my VWAP, structured trade. Now, where's my resistance? It's right there. So if you get long in here, you want to be thinking about this and yesterday's high as a statistical target. Now, I'm going to take you a little deeper. We shift down here. What does this become? Potential support. And what is this? Resistance. Support, resistance. Watch. Pull back to here. So I get this too high, check, pull back to support, there, and here's what's going to happen. This is either too low, and I'm going to blast off, trend is up, or this is too high, and I'm going to break down. And my thing is, I don't know. Do you? No. Except the trend is up. I have over an 80% probability of taking out yesterday's high. There. Next target. So, subject to your plan, you'd be long off the open, way down below. You could be long here. You could be adding there. Subject to your plan, add here, scale here, add here, go to yesterday's high. There's more. Now, I'd love to get into real time here. Now I'm going to show you something more advanced. Fun facts to know and tell. Now, I'm going to combine a couple of tools in Bookmap and order flow. Now remember, there's a high probability of getting over here. So we opened higher inside of yesterday's range, just so you know, and this is available in TraderLab. You have to bet these for yourself. There's over an 80% probability we take out the previous high or low. Doesn't mean we can't take out both. Doesn't mean anything. But it does mean if you have statistics and a trade plan, maybe you would already be targeting this like other traders in the TraderLab did. I don't know about you. How many of these trades do you need to make your day? Or are you just going to play a video game? I'm not saying you can't, but I'm going to say maybe that's not the path to longevity. And again, I can't speak for you. I can only talk about most retail traders and their statistics. Let's look here. Right here, I see a seller. That's the iceberg. Absorption. These buyers were absorbed. Now, let's think Pac-Man. Micro high volume structure. I see iceberg buying, and I see a sweep, and I see big iceberg selling, absorption. So sweep, sellers. Now, two possibilities happen here. And notice where I am. Is this a coincidence? Not to me, but it is random. Isn't that joyous? Now, right here, a couple things can happen. This could be it. We can come off of this and mean revert, and it's all over. Or we rotate above it. So I don't know here, but when we talk in the Trader Lab, one of the things you need to determine for yourself, and this is always why trade plans are individual things. They're not, it's not like do what I do, don't do what Tom does, don't do what anybody else does, do what you do. How do you know what you do? It's psychological alignment and the fractal you trade. Some traders are going to, for some reason, seem to sell the high, buy the low. For me, I'd love to see it. I don't see it. I only hear about it. Other traders are going to trade within a time frame or fractal that they align with psychologically. The mental state of trading will be your biggest obstacle. Everybody who's looking for setups, I believe anybody who comes to Trader Lab can learn how to trade, but not everybody can trade. And it's really more psychological and laziness on not doing the work. And it's a lot of work, which most of us are more in a hurry to trade than to actually know where our edge lies. The casinos have taken the time to figure out which games to play and which ones not, and they seem to do pretty good with that approach. Maybe you would too. That's what Trader Lab is. Community of like-minded traders where it's all about the business. It's really not about the only thing you need to succeed. To succeed in this business, you need grit, determination, coaching, mentoring, and a community to help you leverage. So you're not spending your time spinning your wheels with processes that are random, but have intermittent success. And I always like to remind traders, it doesn't matter what you do, you'll have winning trades. Close your eyes, push buy or sell, you're going to have winners. That's our dilemma. All we think is we got to make it better. Let's look here. So this breaks high. That is an interesting element. So this right here, and don't forget target. Now, at this point, you could be done with the trade and you're managing it, trailing it, or you're going to still look for continuation longs because we're outside of yesterday's range. So let's look. Let's look where we come. See if you don't see something interesting. What happened here? Behavior. And now this is advanced Trader Lab. I don't go into this much, but when something happens, and right here was the potential, yesterday's high, and these structures and absorption. Look at the sell icebergs and the sweep for the end. It doesn't do it. It does the opposite. Well, that shows me there's a lot of strength and a lot of absorption going on here. In other words, the sweep looking for the reversal. The sellers looking for the reversal. It's all over. What does it do? Keeps going. That means there's buyers here in spite of it that were buying and consuming these sell icebergs. But I am above yesterday's high, so wear a helmet. So let's watch. Now, this is micro high volume structure right here. Now, I cannot suggest to you how you manage your trade. The answer lies in metrics, nothing else. Should you be flat ahead of yesterday's high? Or after you see this, you just, hit the plunger and the canopy opens and out you go. What do? That's trade plan specific. But let's just look at the structure here. I'm going up, and this is all in hindsight. I don't know what's going on. I know what's going on here, and this is an event, and I see my volume here. So my buyers are still here. And you can see the delta. My buyers are absorbing the sellers right there, and I break high. My sellers are here, my buyers are here. Change is right here. Micro high volume is here. This becomes my resistance in a fractal. So now the possibilities are the following. I can come back here, go through it, or this is a micro high volume structure. And what it is saying is, think of this like our shopping experience again. If this becomes too high, I can leave it and I can counter rotate. So I have to look back here to see this event, and that out here was potentially too low. So I'm going to put a little line here for you and a little line over here. And in a fractal, going into microstructure, we have an outside edge here, an outside edge there. Now I'm going down in time frame, and this is not necessarily actionable. I'm just going to try to show you some structure. This was where our event was. So this is too high. We break low. That's resistance. That's resistance. I can tell you for me, when I see this, if I was still long, I'd just be out. Because you don't get the high, you don't get the low. You just get whatever you get. And that's trade management. When I break under yesterday's high, then as far as I'm concerned, there's no reason to be in the trade. Now, for me, I cannot pick the high of anything. I use levels and I use the auction. Is this the high of the day? I have no clue. If you do, be sure to come to Trader Lab and post a chart. We have a report, I believe, at 9 a.m. This is a biggie. Now look at the behavior here, and that we checked and we went up. Look at the behavior here. We get the sell sweep. Remember, you're looking for the buy sweep here. You're looking for a reversal. You don't get it. Here you get the sell sweep. You're looking for a reversal. You get it. Here you get the buy sweep. Watch. You get the reversal. Watch. This is all Trader Lab, and this is order flow. This sets up potential reversal down. And these are not necessarily structured trades you should take. Let's watch. So the order flow tool, sweeps and absorption, is giving me an indication here of potential reversal. I come back up. Now, this is a report. Now, if you don't have a way or a vetted plan for reports, in my opinion, you don't trade them. You just wait for your next structured trade. When you get this kind of volatility, trade management, risk management can go out the window. So, up to you. So here, it's going to the moon, right? Over yesterday's high. Hey, here we go. But I see this, the sweep of the book, and I break down. Now I see a sweep here, selling sweep. What do I look for? Potential reversal. Buying sweep. What do I look for? Potential reversal. I'm seeing sweeps on both sides, high volatility. Watch. So this is where look at the sweep here. So I get potential short, and it's not a short, potential reversal, selling, potential reversal, buying, potential reversal. So let's watch it. VPOC, variable high volume node, fair price. Now, possibilities. Push off, go north, and notice where we tested. High volume structure. This exists. Resistance, support, excess, maybe, don't know. Break low. All right, now these aren't structured trades. This is trying to figure out what's what here. Chop, chop. So this here, for me, I don't have a trade in this, and I can be done. I'm just telling you about me. I'm not saying about you. If you want to pick the high of something and you have an edge, then that's what you do. I tend to just not work that way. I just tend to trade with what I perceive to be the trend. And then if I have a structured trade that's a reversal, then here's another piece. The market goes up to go down, and the market goes down to go up. So we went up. And don't forget, we have these structures. Right here, now I'm under the high. No. I break back into the range here, and I get something called VPOC migration. This is going to be the reverse of what I showed you the longs were. And if you don't recall, or you're late to the stream, review this stream. It'll be available to Bookmap, Discord, Trader Lab participants. If you're in Trader Lab, I'll leave this available exclusively, as usual, for you guys to review over the weekend. If you're in YouTube and you want to review these or access the library of webinars or these 60 PDFs of these structured trades that you can look at and reverse engineer, you can visit Trader Lab. There's a link in the bottom of YouTube, and there's no cost. So what does this tell us? Let's go back to language. There is a sweep, and we look for reversals. Here is support. Here is retail. I break below it, it becomes too high. I break below it, I test, it is too high. VPOC migration. Let's watch. Watch. What was too high? Right there. So right here, I have a location for a short. I have volume here. I've got too high up there. I've got my sweep over here with my reversal. I have micro high volume in VPOC here. This is my retail price. I'm in alignment with yesterday's high, the previous all-time high, and this is my variable high volume node. Remember, we're shopping. So my reversal comes off of this. My variable high volume, this is the VPOC, shifts down. Shoppers are going, I'm not going to pay that. Break low. I'm in a triggering process. I don't want to sell in the hole. I got to have a retracement or else I don't have a trade. You can trade all you like. Me, not so much. Where is it too high? Well, the retail price is here. We move, and what it means is we have more volume here at the moment than there. So that's like going to the supermarket and they say, nah, we want to sell more, and we're getting more sales here at the moment than up here. And then the shoppers come back and they check this price. Is this really too high? Think resistance. Chop, chop, buyers here. And what happened? So we got our buyers looking good. This is delta. Buy stops, buyers. Buy stops, less buy stops. Call it stop divergence. It's the only thing from indicator days I use. And so this is resistance. There's divergence. Clueless. Sellers are below the buyers. I'm now back in the micro. Watch. Trigger. Resistance, resistance, stop, go here. Watch, short, Trader Lab. Advanced structured trade, you can learn this. Now, sweep. What is a sweep setup? Potential reversal or resistance. Watch. Back to this, variable high volume node, counter rotation. Where's our resistance? Here. And a little higher. Watch. Variable high volume node. What is that in the Trader Lab? Resistance. Sweep. Resistance. Mid. Resistance. Variable high volume node. The level is already on your chart. It's there. Short. Trader Lab short above. Trader Lab short above. Support. What's this down here? Trader Lab location. Not along, now shorts. And there we are. Didn't even know. Now, this is called structured trades. This is auction market theory. This is letting the participants tell us, not our indicators. And the thing about Trader Lab, so you guys understand, is there's no right way to trade. By the way, there's another piece here I got to tell you about. It's called the initial balance. The initial balance has over a 97% probability of taking out either the first hour's high or low. You'll notice we didn't take out the first hour's high. You'll notice we came back in the range, and you'll notice we rejected the high volume up here, and you'll notice it's only been shorts. That sets up what? Back here, back there, and you're going to ask, where to next? Settlement, mid, overnight volume, point of control. Let me give you some statistics. Past performance, not indicative of future results. You got to bet them. 82% probability getting there, and overnight mid, 72% probability. Past performance, not indicative of future results, and also settlement. If you're in Trader Lab, you have, again, what's called a structured trade. You have locations and you have to vet them, which means you already know what you're going to do if, underline, it shows up. You cannot predict the outcome. You are the casino. You are playing a game that has an edge. You cannot predict the outcome. Now, our wiring and our reptilian brain is seeking to avoid the saber-toothed tiger, and it can't differentiate between this complete uncertainty at every moment and being out on the tundra back in the day. So it's going to interfere with what you intend to do and create FOMO, fight, flight. I call it hide, Jekyll and Hyde. Jekyll's the logical, intuitive, calm, analytical individual, the scientist. And then the lunatic is Hyde, unbridled, unrestrained emotional states. And that's what we have to fight and overcome. If you're in the Trader Lab, I share tools and an understanding of this business. And I've been doing this 45 years, both professionally and otherwise. And I've walked in your shoes, trust me. I've done everything you've done, and probably because I've had more time, I've done a lot more. And they always ended up in the same place, which was random outcomes, successes, runs of winners, and then let's make it better and then watch it break down. So it was always rinse, repeat with a defective process that I thought only meant that I had to make it better, not that it actually was a dysfunctional process. It took me a long time to accept that my effort and the years underlined that I spent working on processes I believed in actually were not in alignment with this business. They were more in alignment with the belief that I had of what this business was, because I didn't understand it was really a gaming process versus a let's get certain process. So load more time frames and indicators. Now, if you're doing that, we all either are still doing it or have done it. What you will find if you come to Trader Lab is most traders in Trader Labs are, now it doesn't mean you can't use indicators in combination, right? What it means is if you learn how the market works, which is what this is all about here, what I do in Trader Lab, think of what you might do if you can understand how the market works, market mechanics, and then be able to get in alignment with it and use indicators. But it doesn't work the other way around. Indicators are backwards looking outputs of price, some form or derivative of price in multiple time frames. The auction is the ultimate, in my opinion, again, real-time manifestation of participant behavior. Now, not later, and not conflict. If you strip everything away, think about it. If you become a minimalist, does that help you make more timely decisions? Because it's not conflicted. It is random, which is its own form of uncertainty and conflict. Our fear, that's conflict, and uncertainty is conflict, which makes us seek certainty in an environment where it doesn't exist. If we can accept that we're continuously, always in an uncertain environment, how do we solve that? We solve it by accepting uncertainty, like the casinos do, and only interacting with the other participants, or say the gamblers, with structured, vetted games or setups that have a statistical probability that it favors us and not the other participants. Isn't that logical? But we don't do that because we're seeking certainty, and we throw the whole concept out of the business we're in, which is really a gaming, statistically based process. And because of our psychological needs, we pile on everything we can to create certainty. That's not the way this works. Again, my experience, I'm not saying that's yours. I'm talking about me because I've done what you've done, unfortunately, longer. And to solve those issues, I really had to dig deep and try to understand why I kept waking up in the same place, despite really working hard and despite having winners, gains, and then watching it all decay and trying to understand what has changed. Well, the market's changed. Let me optimize it, retweak, retune. Kind of like taking a screwdriver out and trying to fix something, but you're always fixing something that's in the past that is not responsive to the present and certainly not the future. If that's your experience, you should come to Trader Lab because this is what Trader Lab's built on. It's really about understanding the business. And if you're interested in the business, I invite you all to Trader Lab. Please give a thumb up if you're visiting on YouTube. Hope you're getting something out of this. Remember, these streams are available exclusively to Bookmap Discord Trader Lab participants. It includes a library of webinars, 60 PDFs of structured trades, and across the Trader Lab community. It was made up of cross-section of many different traders. Our senior trader has over 50 years experience, and we have new developing trade. Doesn't matter. We all have the same objectives. And the thing about the community in the Trader Lab, and I'm going to see if I can drag it over here so you can kind of take a look at what this is. Everybody posts their screenshots going on, discussion. What are you doing? What am I doing? Why? Charts, interaction, a little humor now and then, but it's a serious environment. Stop run sweeps, discussions, conversations, and this goes on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And there's no cost for this. I think, and I'm sure you guys have all been in chat rooms. You've all seen this before. I post, everybody posts. Everybody's leveraging off each other, and that's what's going on here. So if you're interested in Trader Lab, use that link down here. It's all available to you guys, and you're all invited. And there's a lot more going on in the Bookmap community, a lot of education. And I don't know, I think the term no cost is good. Considering what you guys need, all these quote gurus and chat rooms, you have the internet now, and everybody's an expert. Anybody who actually can open their mouth and talk is now an expert. And I'm going to say is you really got to you got to vet whomever and whatever you do. And I'm going to suggest you don't go chasing the Holy Grail. It doesn't exist. Because I can tell you, I certainly looked for the match. On the trade desk, when I was sitting on the trade desk, we had a magic 8-ball, and that worked as good as anything else. Should I get long or short? And the thing would usually say, ask again. You guys know what a magic 8-ball is? They were a lot of fun. We also had a dartboard, and it would be one of those buy, sell, hold deals. And the thing is, if traders are having a rough day, you didn't want to walk in front of the dartboard. So, and if you're in Trader Lab, it's really like a virtual trade desk. You're going to sit there on a trade desk with other traders and leverage the collective experience of the community. But in the end, it's your responsibility to develop and design a trade plan. I'm there to help you, and so are other traders in the Trader Lab. Many traders in Trader Lab have changed their outcome. Many developing traders are moving towards their goals. And of course, the real world of trading is not trading is not for everybody. And it's not, I believe anybody who comes to Trader Lab can learn how to trade. Whether or not they can actually do the work, be patient, manage FOMO, and treat this like a business is really different. The impulses that we have to manage, and I call it Hyde, Jekyll and Hyde. Hyde's that reptilian brain, really, whose job is to protect us, is going to be looking for certainty and is going to be looking to avoid risk. It's primal wiring. And to offset that and manage it, it isn't your intention. I thought for years it was intentionality. I intend not to make that error. I intend not to move my stop. I intend not to bail out. I intend all these things. And guess what? In actual practice, the emotions and this chemical stimulus in my brain, which I didn't understand, Hyde, would supersede all my intention. I'd have stickers up on my monitor, follow your plan. I even used a thick rubber band on my wrist to snap when I made errors for behavior modification. None of it worked. Because I didn't understand that emotional states are really intangible. What I needed to do is create statistics so they were tangible. So instead of being directed by chemicals in my brain and emotions, which release hormones and all this other stuff, that a tangible statistic gave me better control over the chemicals circulating in my brain. That's what Trader Lab is built on, the business of trading. Now, does that make sense to you guys in Trader Lab? Does it make sense to you if you're visiting in YouTube? Give a like in YouTube if this makes sense, because this is the heart of the issue, I believe. I believe you can learn how to trade. I believe all of that. Now, it may not be true for you, right? Because past performance is never indicative of future results. I'm a minimalist. Trading can be made simple. It cannot be made certain. It can be made that you can operate subject to how you see the market and derive its truth using minimal tools, and treat this like a language. It's not an indicator like Google Translate, again, just me. It is a language of participant behavior. What happened here? Let's just look at the language. I had a sweep. What often happens after a sweep? A reversal. What else happened? I'm just looking at this. I wasn't paying attention to it. What else happened over here? So I have a sweep and I have absorption down here. If I get a sweep and right there, and I have buyers, there's the icebergs, what might I get? A reversal. Do you see? That's one piece that I need to know. Another piece that I need to know is I'm below my variable high volume node and I've fallen out of this distribution. Remember, consolidation, just another word. The low volume node is there. What happens if I fall out of something? Doesn't that potentially become resistance? Isn't this potentially too high? This is the auction. If I come down and now this is too high and I have a triggering structure and my outside edges there, think consolidation, high volume. Is this a potential short if you're in the trader lab and you have a vetted trade? There's the trigger. There's a short entry. There's a short entry. Now I'm just talking. Here is my sweep and my absorption. There's my counter rotation, order flow. Where's my resistance? Here. Potential short stop is there or there. Microstructures, trading in fractals. Now, this is not a recommendation. What this is how to read the market. The truth of the market is based on the participant behavior, and everything you see in your indicators, candles, and the rest of it is just really derivative outputs. And subject to the conflict, time frames, and fractals if you want. And the term fractal is just a substitute for the term time frame because fractals don't have time. They're not time-based. And a lot of us, when we start trading, it's all, quote, time frames. It's logical, but it's not the way the market operates. The market operates in rotations, and the rotations are created by the buyers and sellers. That's, quote, the time frame. How much time does it take for this auction and this structure to take place? That is your, quote, time frame. How much time did it take here for this to auction and break away from it? That is your, quote, time frame. It's not fixed. It's participant based. That's why I don't use time, because I used to use time. And what am I waiting for? Am I on the clock? The participants aren't. It's the behavior. It's the interaction. It's the passive sellers up here where this delta, which is buy stops and buyers, and the limits sellers, the icebergs, which I can see with a high tier order flow tool. The sellers here, this seller is below these buyers. If I rotate up and the passive side is here, again, order flow, and I break below these guys and these guys, that's a short. There it is. Now, subject to your skill set, if you can't do anything with this, what do you know? Sellers are here. Sellers are in control. There's your trigger. Where's your outside edge? Where the buyers who were here got lambasted. It's right there. That's a potential short. I'm just showing you microstructure. And what's our targets? Under here, down here. Can you see why I might, not a recommendation, be taking continuation shorts? And I have this, not necessarily this, but possible, and this. All possible, no clue, not important. You guys following Trader Lab? Fair value gap, good question. The sweeps, the mechanics about sweeps. What can happen is it's a exhaustion of the liquidity in the book. And if the book exhausts right here, the buyers sweep the book, and now they're left holding the bag, and I like here, and I break under it, I can lean against this behavior. And you got more of it right here. And then if I'm looking at absorption also, I combine them. Look at the selling icebergs up here. So I'm using these order flow tools to give me an edge. Now, the VPOC is also the retail price. So look at all these events that are happening in alignment with the auction. And again, I don't know. It could just as well pull back here where the buyers were over here. And, right, take a stop. Life in the fast lane. But what do I know? I've gotten over yesterday's high, and if I don't get buyers here, then the longs in this leg are going to go on the chopping block. Then once I break away from all this, I can be short, short, short. All these are shorts now. I don't have any longs. If I see a, quote, long trigger, let's talk about that. What is it? It's not a get long. The trend or context, let's say intraday, not higher time frame. Intraday is shorts. So even though the higher time frame context is up, my context intraday is saying we've exhausted out of the buyers, and now the longs are on the hook, so it's only shorts in the fractal time frame I trade. And the probabilities based on the statistics that you have to vet for yourself, put this on the hit parade, put that on the hit parade, which we got where our longs started, and now we're taking the longs out for the sell stops. And there's about a 72% probability to get there and an 82% probability to get there, and this clueless. Not important to me. I just manage to trade and follow my plan and trade probability. It's just like it's gaming, right? I hope that answers your question on the sweeps. And then the shorted VPOC. I don't know which one you mean, Edo. Give me the price. Are you talking up here? The reversal at 08 in YouTube? How are we doing? Are you guys following? Please give a thumb up and a like if you're in YouTube. Remember, these streams are available exclusively to Bookmap Discord Trader Lab participants. And also remember, if you're in the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community, stay in the audio part of this. I have something I need to discuss for everybody. So if you're, and this is exclusively for Bookmap Discord Trader Lab participants. And if you're in YouTube, remember there's a link down there, and you are all invited to visit the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community. And remember, we have a Black Friday thing going on here. Now, you guys know what my targets are. These are statistical probabilities, not recommendations. I don't call trades. You know, why should you take my stop or anybody else's? You know, right? That's why you have to have your own plan, because if somebody posts something or you hear somebody in a chat room say, I'm going short, and you're thinking long, you take their trade, just write a check out and send them your dollars and let them trade your dollars. You got to learn to have confidence. There's a Black Friday deal. It ends tonight, and that's 3 months of Global Plus, 50% off, add-ons, MBO bundle, some really cool stuff. Go to bookmap.com if you're interested in checking it out. It ends tonight. I've never seen Bookmap offer anything like this. Also, for your dining and dancing pleasure, there's the Cyber Monday deal, and it goes December 2nd to 12th. It is 1 month at 60% off, plus some other cool things. You can get that also, and that's open. And here's the coup de grace. There's a competition. It's only for subscribers, so if you're not a subscriber, you still have time to subscribe. It's going to run December 10th to 12th, and it's going to be a free MBO bundle package, Stops and Icebergs, Trader Map Pro, Market Pulse, Algo Suite, Liquidity Tracker, and $1,000 cash. Don't quote me on that one. Don't come after me with a sledgehammer either, because I can't remember these things. But all of this is available to you. Go to bookmap.com, read up on it. But the So if you get the Black Friday deal before it ends today, that's the one I think that is the best so far. Also, you could then participate in that competition, win $1,000. I mean, gee whiz. That's all I can tell you about that. So check that out. Now let's go back to Bookmap and see how the trade is fermenting. Now, let's think about this. Where are our continuation shorts? All subject to your trade plan. This mid-trade is a short. Come back to this. This is microstructure. You could be using these any way you want for trade management. It's advanced. You can learn it in TraderLab. What do we have here? Micro high volume structure. What is happening right here? What is happening right here? I'm not paying that. Break low. Where's our resistance? It's now this green line. Chest. Buyers were here. That was absorption. Sellers were here. Buyers were here. Counter rotation. What happened up here? Sellers were here. Sellers are here. Sellers are here. Break low. Come back. Buyers are here. Counter rotation. Going to the moon. No clue. Where's the high volume? It's right there. If it's too high, break low. Let's just follow the yellow brick road. Where's my next target? 72% probability. So for me, if I wasn't streaming, I'd be on that short. And next target, 82% probability. And nothing says we can't take out yesterday's low. And it's not my job to predict, right? And yesterday's low is down here. That would be kind of sweet. What do you think? Another 10 points? Is this something you'd like to learn? Is this something you might like to do? You can learn it. And what is this? It's language. So indicators are translators, no problem. What do? I have learned to speak market. That's all I'm doing. I understand what it means. I'm not dependent on indicators to do the work. Google Translate. By the time my quote indicator tells me to do something, where is the market? I can see what's going on here. And I can see what's going on here. I can take action there. I can cover my trade here. If it comes back, I can put it back out, or I'm doing nothing because I'm managing a higher time frame structure with probabilities here. This is what you would learn in TraderLab, and then you put the pieces together for yourself. In other words, there's traders in the TraderLab who are going to sell near that high. The first trade I was telling you about, the reversal structure, which I think was this. And so the short would be on from here. This was the short. Well, if you got an 82% probability of getting down here, would you just be hanging out, working on your crochet? Or would you be bobbing and weaving, covering here, shorting here? You see what I'm saying? What's your plan? That's the question that you need to answer. The answer comes out of statistics by doing the work, isolating the components, and then over a large sample size, this is where the work is, by the way, waiting for your trades that you have vetted, that have a statistical edge, that gives you control over the lunatic under the hood, hide, the primal wiring. When you're in an uncertain environment, and it's uncertain in all the time, it's constantly being triggered. So you're constantly in an environment that's triggering fear, FOMO, and the lunatic. And the lunatic is the chemical. So it is not about the self-control. It's about understanding all these mechanisms, not only how to trade, but the psychological mechanisms that are impediments to your intentionality. This is what we do in TraderLab. And I think TraderLab's rather unique because most of us are looking for simple, here, the only thing, go out on the internet. What do you see? The only thing you need to know, I turned 2 cents into $25 million in 3 months. Let's get real. Okay. If that worked, we'd all take the big weekend seminar. I know back in the day when I was developing and going through the weeping and gnashing of teeth of trying to figure out why things would break down all the time. And I had intermittent success, and then I think I was making progress, and then I call it Trader Groundhog Day. I wake up in the same place. I did a webinar on it because I'm talking about me. And it's probably you too. So if it is you, there is the other part, as Einstein said, is, definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. I did because it would work. That's the problem. This is the catch-22. Everything works. It just is over time, does it have an edge, or does it over time, are you losing money in spite of the intermittent winnings? That's what threw me off. And if it's throwing you off, that's why Trader Lab exists. And I agree, when Bookmap asked me to do it, I agreed to do it. And it's a terrific community. Thumb up, give a like in YouTube, by the way. Oh, Samuel, how do we know probability of reaching a level? Good question. Statistics. You got to do statistics. And in Trader Lab, it's all statistically based, and we have software and programs that are available to analyze data. The data, these statistics I'm talking about, are not fixed. They, the ones I'm discussing in these higher time frame statistics don't change, but there's almost 1,000 days of data to come up with these statistics, and then they are adjusted based on where we open in relation to yesterday's RTH. So there's a bit, to it, but you can download those statistics. Use the link in the bottom of YouTube and come to Bookmap, Discord, Trader Lab. Nothing is in a vacuum. All of these pieces are interactive, and all these statistics and even the methodology is something that anybody can learn. The thing about this is it's not complicated. We think that the secret or the answer to trading lies in complexity, and we tend to make it complex because we're looking for certainty and predictability. And I think it's really natural to think, well, if I use more indicators and more time frames, I'm going to have more information. I'm going to be more certain. We're driven to certainty, or to seek certainty, by our psychology, which is to avoid the saber-toothed tiger. So we're driven to this. We don't even consciously decide to do it. We already are doing it because we're wired to do it. If you knew that was the reason potentially to fail in this business, you wouldn't do it. But we don't know that because we have beliefs that we bring into this business that have nothing to do with this business. And that's what Trader Lab's built on. Not our beliefs, but this business. And the business is a gaming process. All businesses have cost of production and overhead. That means we're going to pay the gamblers, we're going to pay the other participants. That's just the way it is. We got to be okay with that. There is no business on the planet that doesn't have cost of production and overhead. We got to be okay. And how do we manage our emotional states? We manage it by knowing that when we put a trade on that we have vetted, that has a statistical edge, it is now tangible. So we're not being driven by our emotions. We still feel them. But if I have a statistic that says I have over a 50%, and I'm going to make up a number, 60%, 65% probability of getting risk neutral before taking a full stop, does that give me the courage to manage my fear? Yes, no. If not, I'm not going to be a trader. If yes, if I can manage my fear, I'm going to put that trade on, and I'm going to accept the random outcome of it. Over a large distribution, I have over 60% probability of getting risk neutral. Then the next thing is, what's my probability targets? As you know, this one down here is 82%. This one was 72%, right? And again, you got to vet these for yourself. And then I have a trade management process that's also vetted that shows me, based on the time frame or fractal I operate in, how to manage this trade. I accept the fact that if I get a counter rotation, I can get taken out, and then either I can put the trade back on towards a statistic, or I'm done with the trade and I go on to the next one. But all of this is already done before the first trade is put on. We're not in a video game unless anybody wants to play a video game. I suggest play a video game. Don't do this, because you're just going to throw your dollars out the window. If you want to learn the business of trading, that's what you need to do. You need to roll up your sleeves and say, I'm going to learn how to trade. How do I do that? Well, I would suggest not by doing what most other retail traders do as a start. And the other thing is being a collaborative community where you can leverage the collective experience of other seasoned and also newer developing traders. It's the leverage of the Trader Lab community, combining a high-tier order flow tool like Bookmap, auction market theory, understanding market mechanics, how it works, why it does what it does, and how you get in alignment in a random environment, random outcomes with the statistical edge. This is the business. Now, I'm not saying that's your truth, but I'm going to say is you may find that that is what this is all about. And if you use a proven process or business model, it is casinos. We already have a successful business model. We're not going to create a new model. We're going to overlay trading on top of a process that is proven. So now we're not, quote, reinventing the wheel. We are creating a methodology and process that is already proven. We just have to extract statistics so we know when the game or setup or trade shows up that we actually have an edge, and avoid the rest of it. And as you use a vetted process, you have created a template that you can add more and more and more and more structured trades, more opportunity, and of course risk. But when you understand trade management and probabilities, your job's just to do the job. And this really, the Trader Lab's like a virtual trade desk. You'll be sitting on a trade desk with me and other traders and collaborate. This is what makes Trader Lab unique. And when you use high-tier tool like Bookmap and you combine the real world of trading versus the fantasy, your outcome might become different. That's just my personal belief, and I always have to say that might not be true for you or anybody, and I'm speaking generically here. But if you come to Trader Lab, you can ask them about their experience in Trader Lab. What were they doing before? What are they doing now? How has it impacted them? Pro, con? What would they do differently? Ask. Seek and you shall find. Please give a like in YouTube. Remember, these streams are available exclusively to Bookmap Discord Trader Lab participants to reverse engineer, screenshot, and build up your arsenal of structured trades. This is an advanced degree in trading. This is not romper room. It is professional. There's no nonsense. We're all here for the same thing, to get better. And that's the same for me too. Just because I'm trading 45 years doesn't mean I don't do replays, watch these streams, think about what I can do better. Did I miss something? Did I get myopic? I am human. I still make errors at times. I still have a break in a train of thought and hide. The lunatic can jump right in there because I've lost my focus. If you think there's perfection, we are human. There is no perfection. But you can buttress our weaknesses as humans that are being, where our brains are being flooded by chemicals that are contrary to our intention and our best interest in this business. And you can buttress it by a plan and statistical probabilities. This is and I can only tell you is if you're interested in this and you find it interesting, of course, and you want to learn something that might be different than your current experience, bring your experience. By the way, it doesn't matter what you're doing, bring it. You know, we all want to get better. But I can assure you most of what you've done has been done and is being done. And other traders in the Trader Lab use other processes in combination with this. If you're using indicators, might it be useful to potentially be able to deploy them better so you know when they might apply and when they don't apply? It's not one way or the highway. It's how can you get better and create an edge. Doesn't matter how you do it, but it does matter if you're creating conflict for yourself and thrashing and more uncertainty by having more inputs. I consider it like the casinos operate, minimum inputs. In other words, blackjack is always played the same way. Cards are random. Gamblers play as random. But the games are played exactly the same way. That's the only way the casinos get their edge. So wouldn't we apply the same approach to trading? Only trade when we have an edge, use anchored inputs. By the way, I did a primer webinar, and it's available to all of you in the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community. It has over 30,000 views. It's a high-level overview of what you're seeing here. Also, there's the library of webinars and 60 PDFs of these structured trades you can download in the Trader Lab community, and it's all available at no cost. You can use the link in the bottom of YouTube. In addition, the link in the bottom of YouTube will take you to TraderLab, and there's no cost, but you do have to confirm your email, Discord email, so we know you're not spam and you don't pollute the community if you are a spammer. And I know that you're probably not, of course, but that's something we've set up to keep the environment as pristine as possible. And there's a lot of additional education, all at no cost: stocks, options, crypto, order flow, market maker behavior, algorithmic behavior, and order flow with a high tier tool like Bookmap. I've been using it since 2015, and I will tell you, I would not trade without it. But again, it's all about edge. Can you get edge by understanding what's going on under the hood versus lagging indicators? Not saying you can't put them together, but I am saying this is a business of edge. The more edge you can extract, the potential is for a better opportunity for longevity. And like everything, you have to vet everything for yourself, find where your groove is, how it fits. And please remember, by the way, guys, those of you in the Bookmap Discord TraderLab community, stay in the Discord stream on audio. I will be continuing in there for you with an important message. Anybody else, remember, there is a Black Friday deal. It's going to be ending today, and it's 3 months, 50% off, plus a lot of extras. It ends. It is the best thing I've ever seen Bookmap offer. Go to bookmap.com, but time is running out for that one. There's 3 opportunities here. There's a Crypto Monday, 1 month off, and you get 60% off that one. And you get a lot of extras on that one. And if you subscribe and you're a new subscriber or you're a current subscriber, there's going to be a competition. You got to register for this one, December 10th to 12th. And this is only for Bookmap subscribers, paid subscribers, and you get Global Plus with data and the free MBO bundle. Stops, icebergs, TraderMap Pro, Market Pulse Algo Suite. Very cool, and liquidity tracker. And you can win, how about this, $1,000 cash plus more. Just saying. So don't miss out on these things. If you've ever thought about Bookmap, trying it, I would say now's the time to really grab it while you can. We all like to save a few dollars, and as my mother always said, take advantage of opportunities. The TraderLab has no cost, free is good. Enhance and develop, become a professional trader, create a business for yourself. And again, it's not for everybody. There's a lot to this, but on the other hand, complexity is the enemy. It is not the solution. Learn to trade. TraderLab's an advanced degree in trading. You got to roll your sleeves up, make a commitment to create a profession. If that's your interest, then come to TraderLab. And of course, it's not for everybody, but I have passion for TraderLab. I have shared my knowledge with TraderLab. I will continue to do that as long as Bookmap is interested in my continuing that community. And relative to that, I do have to have a audio conversation with Bookmap Discord participants to give them an update. So thanks again for visiting TraderLab. Keep an eye out for streams. This stream is available exclusively to Bookmap Discord TraderLab participants, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks for visiting TraderLab today. Give that like and thumb up. Subscribe to the channel, and Discord participants stay in the channel.